today we are answering a simple but important question. What is meditation? Okay, so before we actually answer what is meditation, it really helps to understand why we meditate. Because meditation, ultimately, it's a practice, right? It's a tool that we use for something. There is a goal, why we meditate, right? So understanding this is the first step. So I'm going to take you through that. And what I'm sharing with you is rooted in the teachings of the Buddha, okay? We all know that, the Buddha is the iconic meditator, okay? And he essentially, what he taught, of course, Buddhism is a religion in its own right. But another way to look at it is it's also the science of the mind, essentially. So just like, modern or material science explores the outer world of phenomena, studying everything in the physical world. This science is the science of the mind, which is an inner exploration of our inner world, our thoughts, our emotions, the nature of our mind, essentially. And the key question is, how can we be happy and free of suffering, essentially? This is the main question that the Buddha tried to answer, right? That how can we become free of suffering and remain free of suffering, essentially. So, this is what we're going to explore. So one of the main things that the Buddha discovered is actually quite beautiful. He discovered that our natural state is actually something really nice. He called it basic goodness. And he said that our natural state is essentially calm, it's caring, it's wise, it's content, okay? And this is essentially what we are at the core. So hypothetically speaking, these days we have mobile phones, right? And there is this option to restore the factory settings, So if someone was to come and restore our factory settings, what they would find is that actually we are naturally very calm, very caring, wise even. We know right from wrong, essentially. But the problem is that we don't always feel this, right? Do you? Do you always feel calm and caring and wise? We don't, right? We're disconnected from this often. This brings the question, why are we not always connected to this? Very simply, it's because our natural state gets covered up by our stress, our anxiety, our worries, our anger, essentially. Life happens, right? And we feel these negative emotions, and essentially they cover up our natural state. It's kind of like, the sky is always clear and blue, right? But when the clouds are there, we almost forget that the sky is clear and blue behind them, right? So the clouds represent our emotions, our negative emotions, especially. Now, meditation then is it's simply about reconnecting to our natural state behind the negative emotions, the overthinking, essentially, right? It's not self-improvement, right? So this is a huge misconception of meditation out there. Meditation is not self-improvement. There's nothing to improve. There's nothing to fix. You're not broken. You are actually already perfect. This is the promise of the Buddha. And meditation is simply a way of reconnecting or rediscovering that inner perfection. A traditional example given is, we're like a diamond that's covered in mud, right? No matter how much mud you put on the diamond, ultimately, when it's uncovered, the diamond is, there, completely untouched, unstained, radiant. And this is our true nature, okay? So, is meditation for you? Maybe you're somebody that feels, very calm and very loving all of the time. And that's amazing, right? But if you do feel stressed, if you do feel a bit, anxious, or even something simple as dissatisfaction, something is missing, right? Outside, everything is there. You have a nice job, you have a nice family, you're successful in the eyes of society, but deep down there is this longing that I want more. Dissatisfaction, right? This is what the Buddha called dukkha, dissatisfaction with the state of things. If any of this is true for you, then meditation can definitely help, because it's, again, not there to help you gain something externally, but to realize that your natural state is already whole and complete and content and joyful. Nothing needs to be added from the outside, okay? So for me, I've told you this story. I had a lot of mud, a lot of layers of mud covering. So when, growing up, I saw a lot of fights at home, right? My parents were divorced. It left me in a household where there was a lot of conflict, a lot of fights, violence. And this instilled just this sense of fear in me growing up, this subtle sense of fear that was always there. Something can always go wrong, right? And it continued with me as an adult. So in my adult relationships, I was often, scared inside, right? And this led to behaviors like not being able to speak up for myself, always overgiving, being the good person, the obedient one, overgiving, people pleasing, essentially, right? From the wrong place. And because inside, outside I look like very kind and, everybody likes me, but actually inside I'm not really feeling that kindness. I'm actually feeling like I wish I didn't have to do this, and this had further implications. So always having this sense of, subtle anxiety inside meant that I wasn't comfortable just being with myself. So I needed to escape. So this meant, going into, when I wasn't working, going into excessive partying, alcohol, drugs, all these things, right? And it took me to a really dark place, essentially. And, I'm saying this because this is ultimately, it's true for so many people, just on different, levels, right? So for me, meditation, really helped me to overcome all of that. And, bit by bit, right? Nothing happened overnight. But in essence, when, the more I practiced meditation, the more I was able to settle my thoughts and my anxiety. I began to see that behind all of that, chatter and restless, uneasy feeling, actually, there was a lot of calm that was already there. And, peaceful calm, which has this, it's not just like a neutral, dead kind of peace, but peaceful calm that has a little joy in it, a little happiness in it, like a sweet contentment. That's there, right? So this made me want to practice more and practice more. And the more I practiced, the more I began to feel safety in coming back to this, coming back home, essentially, to our natural state. And the more I practiced, the more I realized that all of the uneasy feelings, whether it is the anxiety and fear that I felt, or the craving that I felt that I want to go and have a beer, or right? All of these things are, of course, they're there, but they are more like clouds. They come, they stay for a bit, and they dissolve. They're not real. What is real is what is there behind all of that, which is that calm, that peace, that contentment is always there, right? And that's our natural state. And without doing anything special, without doing anything magical, just by coming back home to this beautiful place, I naturally, over a few years, I let go of my habits, let go all the unhealthy habits, smoking, drinking, drugs, like so many other things. Okay, and even in my relationships, I started seeing the patterns, and it's been over 5 years since I've quit all of the unhealthy habits, and it's been a really long time since I've let people walk all over me in relationships. So just this simple practice, like, it's so profound. It comes back. It brings us back. So experiencing this profound change, albeit over a few years, is why I decided to actually become a meditation teacher. I wanted to share this treasure with others. So I literally quit everything. I was in a corporate job in the UK for about 8 years. So I quit all of that. I came to India to learn more and practice more and train in the explore different traditions, and just really get a good idea of what is this vast kind of field of meditation. And in 2022, I had the incredible opportunity of meeting His Holiness the Dalai Lama. An experience that had a profound impact on me. Just seeing that love, just vast, like immense love, just radiating out from this one human. It inspired me so much that I decided to walk the path that he has walked, in a way. And I was fortunate enough to find my teacher finally, Mingyur Rinpoche, and I've been practicing under him since, and actually training as a teacher as well, under him. So I'll tell you more about that in a different video. But today I just wanted to share with you this essence of what is meditation, the essence of the practice, and why we practice in the first place, right? It's not just about feeling calm temporarily, as so much of the modern content out there will have you believe. But actually, there is a fundamental view and truth that we are practicing to realize that our true nature, or our natural state, is already calm and caring and loving and content, and wise even, right? So there's nothing to do from outside in order to increase your happiness, right? Your happiness and your contentment, that joy that we seek in all the external things, is already there, deep down within us. It just needs to be uncovered, essentially. So it's so profound and so radical that it helps us realize that it doesn't matter what you do for a living, or how much money you earn, or what your status in society is, or what car you drive, or how you look, or the color of your skin, or any of those things. They don't matter, because those are just external appearances, which are temporary, which will always change. Doesn't matter what you have right now. It's gonna go, ultimately. And new things will come that you don't have right now, that we don't have, right? But ultimately, what doesn't change is that natural state of within, that vast open space of contentment, of joy, of compassion. That's all there. Okay, so the idea is to be able to live our life and live in the world from that natural state as much as possible, right? I know for a fact that I personally have like so many more layers that need to be uncovered, right? But yeah, I hope this helps, and I'm just curious, like, how do you feel when you hear this, that your natural state is already calm and caring and wise? Do you believe it? Because it can be hard to believe, right? If you feel like this may be true for other people, not for me, right? My natural state is not calm. Maybe you think that. There was a time when I thought that as well, and that's okay. There's no pressure over here for you to believe that at all. This is not something that you need to believe. It's not like a religion where, oh, you need to believe this. No, it's something that you can experience for yourself. That's why it's the truth, right? That's why it's called Dharma. Dharma means the truth. It's there. There's nothing to believe. Like it's there, right? So just the only thing I would encourage you is to, if you're thinking about practicing, obviously that's why you're watching this video. If you're thinking about deepening your practice, just do it. Do it, because all the benefits and happiness you seek are going to come from there. Like it's all right here. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you don't believe this natural state thing, then that's okay too, right? Hopefully in the upcoming videos I'll share more and speak about it more, and obviously meditate more, and you'll be able to experience it. But yeah. I hope this helps. A bit of a long-winded explanation, but I hope it helps. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.